Welcome back. We hadn't put anything out in a while, so we thought it may be time. We're going to show you what we do on a daily basis. We're going to work half a house. We worked the other 5 in the front half of this one. Thought we'd go through and show you how we work the back half of this house and the things that we look at, what we do on a daily basis. Birds are 22 days old in this house today, so they're a little over halfway to their market size. They've probably got another 2.5 weeks, I guess, then they'll be ready to go. One of the things we look at as a way to track our progress, I guess you'd call it, is we look at daily water consumption. Our integrator has given us a list of what this breed of bird should drink at 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, 28 days, 35, and 42 days. Now this is a number per 1,000. So the number for 3 weeks, which was yesterday, 21 days, is they should drink 43 gallons per 1,000 chickens. So what we do is we take our living birds, not our starting birds, but our living birds, and we take that number, which this time was 37,571. So we have 37,571 chickens. So I take 37.57 because that would be the thousands place, and multiply that by 43 gallons. They should drink 43 gallons per 1,000 chickens at this time. And that comes up to 1,615 gallons is what they should have drank yesterday, which was day 21. This is what they actually drank yesterday, which means they went about 682 gallons more than what they're supposed to. This is wonderful. This is a good thing. This means if they're drinking more than they're supposed to, then the theory behind it is they're eating more than they're supposed to. When you're 600 gallons above what breed average or breed standard is, I'll take it every day.
Water is weight.
Water is weight. Water is 8 pounds per gallon, and if you keep 25% of that, you're talking what? 1,100 pounds? Maybe 1,200 pounds? I don't know. That's just quick math. Let me show you what we look at when we walk in. This is our controller. First thing we look for, lights are on, feed and fill system. Auger is the fill system. Fill system comes from feed bins into the hoppers so that the feed can pull out into the feed line. Lights are on, feeders and augers are on. We have 2 tunnel fans running, so we know we have ventilation.
The tunnel fans are in the very back. They're the larger fans. They run a lot in the summertime.
Yeah, ours are 57-inch fans here. We have 36-inch exhaust fans, 57-inch tunnel fans. It's gotten warm enough today to turn 2 tunnel fans on so far. We'll probably, by the end of the day, we'll probably be running 4, I'm guessing, maybe 5, depending on what the weather does this afternoon. But let me show you what the main home page of the controller looks like. When you come here, you have sensors, which are temperature sensors. You have your average temperature. Here's our set temperature. Here's our ventilation levels. Those are the main things we look for. What does this mean? Well, ventilation levels, each level is an increase in ventilation, meaning it's either an increase in time that the fans run, if they're on a 5-minute timer, or if they're running solid on, just like they're doing now, it would mean the next level would turn on another fan. So as it gets warmer in the house, you go up a ventilation level, you turn on another fan, or you run more exhaust fan time. So right now we're at level 18, which is 2 tunnel fans locked on. They're running solid. They'll probably do that till about 6 o'clock this evening, at least 2 fans. I'm saying again, it'll probably be 3 or 4. Now if you look over here, these are our temperature sensors. We have 8 of them in the house. They start at the front door. There's one about probably 30 to 40 feet from the front door, and they go sporadic. Well, they're equidistant through the house until you get to the back. They're about 40 feet away from the back door. We'll show you a sensor when we get in there.
I will say the humidity sensors that are on these controllers are not accurate.
They are not right.
We have a weather station type thing.
every house that we have a weather station in, it's 10 to 15 points difference as far as humidity goes, and the weather stations are always lower. And I don't believe it's 81% humidity in there because you can walk in there and breathe. That's what
It's
it
not
boils down to.
thick.
So, one thing I wanted to show you, if you look at these temperature sensors, you can see the front of the house, 86, 85, 86 and a half, 85.7, 86.7 is hotter than the rest of the house. Why is that? Well, this is the kind of thing that I think is kind of cool about this. A chicken naturally migrates into the wind. I know how weird that sounds, but they naturally migrate into the wind. So if there's wind blowing, if there's a breeze blowing and they have room to go, that's the way they start going, is into the wind. Now, when you run tunnel fans like we're doing, you have 2 fans on in the back right now in this house. That's drawing air from the front to the back. So with the air moving from the front to the back, you have wind going to the back, birds migrate to the front. That's why you see these temperature sensors in the front are a little bit warmer. It's not enough to hurt anything. Those birds are absolutely fine. We just walked through there. Everything's hunky-dory. They're not hot enough to hurt them, but it is warmer up there because when you have air moving from the front to the back, you have birds moving from the back to the front. Now later on tonight, when it cools off enough to turn the tunnel fans off and you go back to a timer fan, which means it might run 2 minutes out of 5 minutes, is not enough air moving for the birds to move to the front, they'll spread back out through the house. And you can't even really see it. I mean, you'll see a few less birds right here in the middle than you will in the front, but it's not like they're packed against the wall and there's no birds for 100 feet or anything like that.
No, that would be a problem.
Yeah, we would not be standing here talking to y'all right now. We'd be shoving birds back. So let's go walk through. What we have to do is we have to pick up our dead birds. Anybody that has livestock will tell you, if you have livestock, you will soon have dead stock. And that's true with everything. I mean, any living thing, that's true. So what we're going to do, we're going to walk through. I'm going to work this into the house, and Danielle's going to kind of follow along. And I'll show you some of the things that I look at, some of the things that we have to pay attention to. Okay, here we go. It is relatively dark in here. We don't know how well you'll be able to see. This is where we need to run the lights at this point to keep the birds calm enough that, number one, they don't cause themselves to have heart attacks. Number two, they don't run off the calories that we've put on them, because we get paid by the pound. So your doctor tells you to make sure you exercise. We tell these birds to make sure they do not exercise for the same reason. Oh, what? So
The door is very squeaky. Alright, so we worked the front part, and as you can see, they're not all packed up. They spread out really nicely after we get finished. And what Tyler was talking about, there's plenty of room. We don't want to show you guys all the chickens packed together, because that's not really what...
that's not the truth.
That's not the truth.
You can see that on documentaries if you want to watch them, but you can also see documentaries about vampires and werewolves if you want to watch those. But I've never run into either one of them, so I have a hard time believing it. So, we got a bucket, standard bucket, and we have a catching stick. What this is just a stick.
We do not use it in a bad way.
No, we don't use it in a bad way. All we use it for is to pick up the birds. You can either hang the leg or hang the wing of a dead bird and pick it up and put it in your bucket. So,
keep it from bending over. Keep us from bending over.
yeah, that's the point. So, we're going this way. We've got 300 feet of the house here to pick up. We're going to go down this side, back up the other side, and then we have 2 sections in the middle that we'll work down and back. I don't know if we'll go through the whole thing just because it's going to be a lot of repetition, but we'll show you some things as we go through. First thing I want to show you, you can see the feed line right here, the red line. What we're looking for here is we come in, what I look for, I want to see that those feed lines are at the right height. And what I mean by the right height is if you pick up a chicken, you can feel the top of the sternum, the top of the breastbone. It's kind of a little point.
Show them.
It's right here, just about where my finger's at, right there. I can feel the top of the breastbone.
So okay.
So about right here. Right in there is about where I want those feed pans to hit these chickens, because the larger chickens and the average size chicken can reach their head down and eat feed out of the bottom of the pan. And the smaller chicken, the pans are off of the ground so they can swing back and forth. And the smaller chickens can walk up and with their chest, they can lean against the pan and it'll swing up and actually let more feed pour in. And it gets the pan where they can reach it no problem. So
That chicken's having a bad hair day.
yeah, well, he's not the only one. All right, now then. So that's what we're looking for on feed lines, and from looking at it right here, it looks pretty good.
And making sure that there's feed in the pans.
Yeah, if there's no feed in the pans, there's no chicken going to eat out of those pans. You can usually tell that pretty well because if there's no feed in the line for whatever reason, whether you lost a motor, need to work on the switch, need to
Replace the
Mylar piece in the switch, whatever, usually you'll see a big gap all the way down the feed line. There's no chickens around it. Excuse me. There's no chickens around it because there's no feed in the pan, so there's no reason for them to be there. But let's start, and we'll basically what I do is I walk down and I either hit my bucket, you can see them moving, or I take my stick and rub down the wall. I just make a little noise where they'll move out of my way. We're not making enough noise to really scare them.
No.
We just want to move them over a little bit.
You don't want to like swing your bucket real high or anything. Again, we talked about giving chickens heart attacks. And as he goes down, so we have, basically this is like 3 sections. The section next to the wall, section in between the first water line and the feed line, and then the second water line and the feed line over there. And we look at all 3 sections as we go down.
And what we're looking for is a chicken that's not doing what it's supposed to do, which means not moving or not moving correctly. There are some that they've had some kind of an issue, they have a leg issue or a wing issue or something like that, and those are called culls, and we do have to get them out. We have to kill them. The ones that are too small to reach water, we have to kill them. That's our agreement with the company, that we will follow animal welfare practices. So
yeah, it's the humane thing to do.
It is the most humane thing to do.
Unfortunately, but fortunately, you know. All right, so we're getting down toward the back side of the house. And this is where the tunnel fans are that Tyler was talking about.
There's one right there in the corner that's running. That's a 57-inch fan that's pulling air through, and the one in the back wall is a 36-inch fan, so that gives you an idea of the size of the fan. Now, one thing I do want to mention, you did notice that the average temperature was higher than the set temperature. If I'm not mistaken, it was about 3 degrees. 2.5 maybe, I don't remember now. Anyway, the reason that's okay is because you have to figure in chill factor along with your temperature. What I've been told is a 36-inch exhaust fan has about a 1 degree chill factor. 57-inch has about a 2 degree chill factor. What does that mean? That means from static temperature, you subtract the chill factor and you get what the birds actually feel. So with one 57-inch fan and one 36-inch fan, you have 3 degrees of chill factor. When you subtract it from the 85.7, you get an 82.7, which our set temperature today is 82.2, I think it is, and a half degree, they don't even notice it. So that's kind of where that's how we decide how many more fans to turn on. If it goes up another degree where you need another 2 degrees of chill factor, you'll turn on another tunnel fan. Actually right now, if you go up another half degree, the 36-inch fan will turn off and another tunnel fan will turn on. You lose 1 degree there, but you gain 2 degrees here, so you're actually got 4 degrees of chill instead of 3, gaining 1 degree of chill factor.
So you can see,
Yep.
you can see behind us where it's cleared out, and there's a few chickens that have ventured back over. By the time we get finished, and then by the time we write the mortality and stuff down on our chart, then you can come back in here and you can't even tell that anybody's been in here. Some people may disagree with this, but My mom and dad raised chickens for a really long time, and I kind of took to heart what they say, or what they said. And my mom always said you don't want to go in the chicken houses a whole lot because you're disturbing the chickens. You're taking them away from their food, not taking them away, but disrupting them from their food and water and their normal routine. So you want to kind of leave them alone as much as possible. So we made it to the other side. Another tunnel fan just came on the other side because it went up another level.
That's what I was talking about a minute ago when we needed another degree or so of chill factor. The 36-inch fan, which is behind us now, will turn off, and that second tunnel fan will turn on. One of the reasons could be because we're walking through, and when we walk through, the chickens get up off of the floor, which lets the body heat that's in the floor come off the floor. So the house will heat up a little bit as you're going through and working chickens, but that's actually a good thing because you're going to pull the hotter air out. If it's coming up off the floor, you'll pull it out. So if you look right over there, see that middle water line, the chickens are not able to stretch their eye, to stretch their neck to drink. They're actually they're turning their head to the side just a little bit. So that tells me that we do need to raise these water lines a couple of rounds, and the reason why, if you think about a chicken's beak, it's like this. If they have to turn their head sideways when they peck, more water is coming out of their mouth than what's actually going in. And it's getting to the floor. Once the floor gets saturated, it won't soak up any more waste. Then you get a problem with wet floors, which causes burnt feet, scalded breast, more problems than you need.
They don't get up.
Yeah, they don't get up when they get to that point. They'll lay there and die. So we do everything we can to prevent that. We'll also show you here in a few minutes, we'll show you how we measure the water, how we keep up with where it needs to be as far as water pressure and things go. But let's finish this side and then we'll go a little more.
If you are a grower, and I don't know if y'all notice the same things, but they love to get under the fan cages. If you have cages in the back, they love to get under there.
If you have butterfly fans, butterfly shutters, and you probably have these fan cages.
Yeah. I guess they feel like they're safe because they're under something. Normally, if there's nothing wrong and if you have a good flock, it usually takes both of us about 20 minutes per house. Usually takes both of us about 20 minutes per house. Tyler will take a side and I'll take a side.
She's faster than I am usually.
Until about the last week, and then I slow down a lot. But like I was saying, some growers may disagree with that statement about not going in the chicken houses, you know, a lot. But if we don't see anything wrong, and once we pick up what we need to pick up and do what we need to do, we try to stay out as much as possible. Just because they don't like us. So if you're ever in the market for a job and you think you want to pick up chickens, this is what you do when you pick up chickens. It's not too bad unless you have high mortality. And it can be very taxing when you have high mortality.
Not only is it labor intensive, but every chicken you carry out is a chicken you don't get paid for.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Every chicken you carry out has feed in it that's going to wind up costing you in the end.
Yep. And that can go into the video about the way that they pay us and everything, but basically we don't own the chickens, we just own the property, and the feed, they bring in the feed which they own, and it basically comes out of our pay. And we count every chicken that we pick up, or if we cull it, we count every single one. We don't have what's called a chicken reaper. Those are chicken hawk or poultry hawk or chicken reaper, I think, is the two brands. We don't have one of those, number one. It's just expensive. I'm not real sure how much it costs, but
the cheap one that I've talked with people about was about $3,500 or $3,600 a house.
yeah, and we have 6 houses, so you're talking over 18. Yeah, about $25,000 for the farm. So we bought a couple of little rolling carts from Home Depot. They're like landscaping carts, I think is what they call them. And those are pretty good. They still get heavy, but we apologize for not putting out any. Oh.
Here's one of our temperature sensors. This is one of the ones that we showed you on the controller. This would have been number 6. They just kind of hang right there above the water line. That's where our average temperature comes from.
Yep. Sometimes the chickens will pull them out and lay on them, and then you get a high temperature alarm. And then they get up and it goes back to normal. So if it's just one temp sensor that's like that, we don't really worry. Because it usually is a chicken laying on top of it. If the whole house or like a half of the house is reading high, then that's when you need to get concerned. But when you get to the middle, you know you're about done. And it's a lot easier to work than in between the feed lines and water lines and the wall, because they don't have any yeah, obstacles.
I would like for everybody to note how much room there actually is in here.
Oh yeah.
You can see that over there. When we get screen from, and you can look behind us. This is one of the things that really gets me about the documentaries and things that show us being monsters.
Yeah.
We can make this house do everything they do.
Yeah, I could show you just a clip of all the birds. Like,
we can cram them in one corner, but if you want reality of what a chicken house looks like, that's it right there. That is it. This is what a chicken house looks like.
Just also keep in mind they're flock birds. They like to be together. Even though they have all this room, you can see them when they want to take a nap or they go to sleep, they'll get together in a group of like 3 or 4 or 5. Apologizing for not putting out new content lately. We had a medical issue with one of our daughters, and we just kind of shut down after that and for a little while.
She's good now.
She's good, yes. She ended up with a stomach ulcer at 13. A little stressed. She's a little stressed out, but it is what it is. Okay, so this is the front half of the house that we worked about 20 minutes ago. You can see they're all spread out. There is some room over here because that was the last section that we worked. But like Tyler said, there's more toward the very front of the house because they migrate into the wind. This is how we adjust our water lines.
We have 2 winches. One for the front, one for the back. It's a winch hook, kind of like a speed handle, if anybody knows what that is. You do this by experience, by what you can see. What you want to see is the chicken tip its head back where its beak is pointed up and not to the side. These, I'm going to go up about 2.5 rounds. That's what that was. And they're turning their head a little, but they're more looking up than they are looking to the side. You don't want them reaching. Certainly don't want them jumping to try to get it.
No.
I've heard some growers say they want their birds to commit to drinking water, and that's the ones I like to sell with because that's the ones we usually wear them out. We'll do this 4 more times. We have 10 water lines in this house. When I say 10 water lines, I mean 5 in the front, 5 in the back. If I'm not mistaken, there's about 2,350 water nipples per line. Get that right in my head. I think that's right. It's either 2250 or 2350. So there's about somewhere between 22,500 and 23,500 water nipples in this house.
There's not a water nipple for every chicken, but sometimes they drink out of the same one at the same time, and then not every chicken is drinking at the same time either. You can see some of them are laying down, some of them are standing up drinking. Just like with the feed pans, not every chicken eats at the same time. But
if I'm not mistaken on that too, there are approximately, if my math is right, there are approximately 720 feed pans in here. So.
And
That's a lot of feed.
They're round and they have little sections on them, and you can see.
Well, 14 spaces per pan.
You can see they can share. They're pretty good at sharing. And some of them, they are pushing the feed pan a little bit. That's kind of what you want to see. That one chicken.
What I was talking about earlier with the feed height. You want it to swing so that they can push it. And basically all it does is when they push and start eating, more feed falls out to them so they have more feed available. That's what you want to see, right?
I'm going to have a sit down on the pipe. Sometimes I just like to sit down. Oops, sorry about my fingers. Sometimes I just like to sit down and watch them. Right now they're still a little freaked out because we've just finished working them, but they'll calm down. Got a brave soul over here. He's getting closer, wanting to visit. You can see he's panting a little bit. He or she is panting a little bit. That's just because it's a little bit nervous. Not quite sure, you know, what we're doing. But the rest of them, they're pretty good. They're curious. They'll come up to you if you sit here long enough. Not make any sudden movements. We've told y'all before, these are called featherless birds. They have feathers, but they don't have as many feathers. Like that one's pretty ugly, just to be quite honest. But there's nothing wrong with it. They do that because so they don't have to process as many feathers at the plant.
And to help control the body heat.
Yeah, that's a big one. Kind of helps farmers, I guess. Kind of helps growers.
So, well, y'all have worked, what did I say, 37,571 chickens with us?
A 1/12 of what we do in a day.
Yeah. No, wait a minute, wait. Y'all just did one side, so it was 18,750 something chickens with us. And in that amount of chickens, in that amount of population, we found
what, 6
Yeah.
dead birds?
Not many.
So that's pretty good. I'll take that every day.
Yeah. We have had flocks in the past that were not so great. If you're a grower, you know.
Yeah. When it's good, it's good, and when it's bad, it's bad. And
Yeah.
the bad tends to be more common than the good, seems like. Let me get, we went up on water pressure yesterday in here to the point where we're supposed to be for the rest of the flock.
The reason we do that is because as the chickens age, obviously the water demand goes up because they're bigger. So, and with them drinking 600 gallons more a day than what they're scheduled to, the demand is a little bit higher. So we have to go up on the pressure to meet the demands of the chickens.
The best explanation I've got of water flow in the house, if I'm not mistaken, first week we're supposed to have 20 milliliters per minute. From 14 days to 21 days, we're supposed to have 30. From 21 days to the end of the flock, we're supposed to have 40 to 45. Now, I've asked before, why do we not just leave the water pressure up and let them drink what they want? And the explanation that I got was basically that'd be like you trying to drink out of a 5-gallon bucket. When a chick tries to drink water with the water pressure as high as it has to be right now, it's about like a human trying to drink out of a 5-gallon bucket. You're gonna spill a lot more than you're actually gonna drink.
Yeah.
So here's what we're gonna do. The way you make water run, you see this little stem here. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's pretty dark in here. See the stem? So if you hold it over, you can see it running out. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put this graduated cylinder. Miss Wells would be so happy. We're gonna put this underneath the water. We're gonna trip the nipple, and we're gonna let it run for 30 seconds. Then multiply that by 2, and that will tell us what we're running per minute. So,
It's all very scientific-y.
yeah, except for the fact that the cylinder is not extremely accurate. Here we go. So we have about 21 or 22 milliliters in 30 seconds, which means we have 42 to 44 milliliters per minute. At this age and through the end of the flock, they're supposed to be between 40 and 45. Now, I don't understand new math. It doesn't make sense to me. But at Buffington, 42 and 44 were between 40 and 45. So I think our water pressure is good. Water flow is good. This is actually how we gauge water pressure. If it wasn't so dusty, you could probably see what I'm talking about.
We did clean them.
Yeah, we clean them regularly. It just doesn't stay that way. So let me get you a little light
There it
here.
is.
It's got air in it.
Yep.
Letting the air out of the tube, and we'll show you. You can see the ball right there. That's a ball, a plastic ball floating in water. This is called a standpipe or a riser tube. This is the regulator coming into the house, and we can adjust it on the bottom. We can go up or down on the pressure in here. And this little ball is right here.
Chickens don't like the flashlight.
Now, this is what we gauge our water pressure with, our water flow with. So right there, that's where we need to be with the ball to make the correct water flow.
And you want all of them to be around that same.
Yeah, that's another thing we look at as we come in. We look through to make sure we can see all the balls floating. Also look at it on the end to make sure they're floating down there so that we know there's not a clog, an obstruction somewhere in the water line from here to the end.
And we'll look at the pressure valves in the control room
Yeah,
too.
at the pressure gauges, and as long as that measures, or as long as that looks good, we're good. When that doesn't look good, Tyler's not a happy camper.
Yep.
Because that means Tyler's fixing to be a plumber. One of the things I never wanted to do.
Yeah.
So-
When you are a farmer, you are a plumber, electrician, repair.
Carpenter,
Yep. Carpenter, mechanic.
Gopher,
Yep.
ditch digger.
Yeah.
whatever you have to be.
Landscaper.
That's what you, well, on occasion, you can't really tell it here, but yeah, we do have to do a little bit of landscaping. So that's kind of how we work a house of chickens. That's how we work a half a house of chickens. If you take this video and watch it twice, you'll see how we work a full house of chickens.
If you watch it 12 times.
If you watch it 12 times, you'll see what we do on a daily basis. So, but thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, comment, those fun things. Thank you so much to the people that have subscribed. I looked this morning, I think we had 77, which is pretty awesome. I didn't expect more than like
2.
my mom, my grandmother, my aunt, you know, that's what I
3.
expected. So anyway, thank you very much. Again, we hope you enjoyed it and we hope you have a blessed day. Goodbye.